a Dasa who's really mad and furious, you know, a man who's dedicated his life to law and whatnot, and he's screaming his head out, and he meant it, because I've had him here a couple of times.
Right.
You're painting a scenario so grim, it's not democracy.
We're just explaining what is truthful, what is already provided by law, what is provided even in the House rules of the Joint Committee, saying in Section 17, the authenticity and due execution of the election results. That's what Madam Senator was saying. What is the basis for authenticity? What is due execution?
Wala nga, it's explained quite well by the IT experts.
And I pushed the Senate President and Nograles to say, please don't use the word digital signature, because as the IT experts explained, everything has a digital signature. It's a mere digital ID. By law, what they wanted was to be the ERs to be digitally signed
by the official.
None of them were signed.
Yeah.
Because then Smartmatic.
What was the answer of Smartmatic?
No, Smartmatic already did that sleight of hand and said, well, there are digital signatures. To initialize, there's a digital signature.
Of course.
So that's how,
digital, may signature talaga yan eh.
So everything has a digital ID.
Correct.
And then these very intelligent people, instead of refuting, asking Toti or any of those in the panel to refute what Smartmatic said, they were lawyering for Smartmatic.
Right.
Teddy Boy was lawyering for Smartmatic. He was lawyering for the COMELEC.
In the committee hearings.
In the committee hearings. He was putting words in the mouth of Manalang. So we were already a little concerned, because I've been a senator for 6 years, and I've never been to a hearing where the chairman talked for 3 hours. And all Teddy Boy did when he was there was talk and put words in the mouth. Usually a chairman...
But you have to understand what Teddy Boy is like. You know, he's quite a character. You know him.
Yes, but the rules of the committee, usually the chairman just talks in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then he gives every committee member 5 minutes or 10 minutes to question, and then he summarizes.
That's why you call it a public hearing.
Yes.
Let the public be heard.
But it was only Teddy Boy we heard.
That's true.
So it wasn't even kosher. There was no fair play. And he said that he would keep the committee on suffrage until June 30. And
he didn't.
He didn't. And in June 8, for no other reason, he just stopped it and said, yeah, let's proclaim. This is a rape of democracy in the sense that if we are made to swallow this grand conspiracy, I'm not pointing fingers at Noynoy. I'd like to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'd like to give him benefit of the doubt to have other elections and to prove his mandate. But if he doesn't do it, then the conspiracy theory holds.
What if we go back to the COMELEC and go back to Smartmatic and force the COMELEC to go into an independent third-party audit re-evaluation of that system? Is it much too late? Inayos na nila?
They already had done that with the so-called random manual audit, which accredited with the PPCRV, which is not completely a standard random manual audit. Because how can you randomly audit a automated process when you only selectively choose the president, the vice president, the mayor, governor,
iba-ibang software.
Unlike the entire software, then you can attest whether there was some fraud in some of the positions. Remember, there were some reports being said that there could have been fraud in the local positions, as what the Koala Bear was saying.
No, even just the test 3 days on May 3, yung lumabas yung Hocus Pocus, binoto si ano yun, yung Mercado, Binay, di ba? Sa Makati nila tinesting. Noibi. Lumabas yung kabila na nalalagay kay Mark Nino, di ba? Parang ganun lumalabas. So, and then,
and we're not even sure whether those
were replaced.
Hindi naman pinalitan yung mga yung, come on, hindi naman pwede 3 days. Come on, di ba? Ano ako, born...
No, but the entire public of the Philippines were told to believe that such a thing did replace. And that is what the senator is saying.
But
is our democracy still existing? Is our democracy still existing? Is our democracy still legit? Tell us, tell the public, is it still legit? What kind of democracy do we have right now when all of this thing is such a mockery that insulted the intelligence of the Filipino?
Thank God we've got Global News Network. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to take a short break to sort of cool down and turn up the air conditioning. You know, thank God we've got this station at least that brings you some type of news that is not trying to push you, manipulate your thought for one singular purpose or a specific interest. Our interest is nation building. Now, when we come back, let's talk exactly that. When we talk about nation building, what next should be done, no matter how unpopular it is, and which way do we go? Or, let's not face the truth. We cannot handle the truth. Remember that movie? Jack Nicholson, you cannot handle the truth. Baka nga naman, let's just go back to PC, di ba? We'll be right back, stay with us. Well, it's summer, the rain is coming, but the heat keeps rising. I don't mean that by the weather. I'm talking about the issues that seem to be boiling or getting into what we call critical mass. Are we going to reach critical mass, which may be disadvantageous to the country? But it's not just critical mass that I'm talking about. I'm talking about exactly where we should go and what exactly will be entailed when you come to nation building. We have Senator Jamby Madrigal, and we have a co-host who's also in GNN, Toti Casiño, who's one of the resource people for the information technology, an expert in that field. Senator, on behalf of nation building, what must we face now? Okay, we've explained in the first portion of this show. There is fraud. Tapos na tayo doon, there is fraud. Media is not helping, and ayaw natin palabasin kasi parang nakakatakot eh. Ano dapat gawin natin? Anong ideal situation now?
Well, at the moment, we're pushing for transparency, and that's important.
At all costs. At all costs. Basta
people like you who have followed the arguments, you believe there's fraud. Many people, deep in their hearts, they've come to me and said, nagising na lang sila, and then they're being made to accept these results, which were so uniform, which were so mathematically correct. I mean, in any election, akyat babayan.
Akyat babae.
And then, by 11 in the evening, they were already proclaiming, brainwashing us to accept the victory.
No, FYI, Senator, during the day, I was here early morning till late night. We were covering it. I think you were here. You came here also to help guests. Right. We covered it in 4 days. We were the only network that was questioning a lot of issues because a lot of reports were coming to us. What I didn't understand was all throughout the day, as Toti pointed out right before the show, miski sa mainstream media, no less in Channel 2, may mga reports, pumapasok, may mga kaguluhan, ganito, ganyan. And all of a sudden, pagdating alas 7, wala, maayos na lahat, panalo na, ang galing talaga. Let's jump with joy, di ba? Parang ganun eh.
The word is rousing success.
Euphoric.
If you look at the interview of Manalang, very well, he said that he was awakened at 3:30 because the Smartmatic people were worried. Only 20% of the votes came in.
And yet,
but there was almost 60% already on TV.
On TV.
Yes. So why
because of the COMELEC
discrepancy?
offices, we were there, pumapasok talaga, we saw it.
But which picos were those?
The ones in Antipolo, we caught.
Yes.
Because GNN was the one who caught those, in 60 pieces doon. They were working overnight.
One question. And the second is, when this happened, certain precincts were voting only for 1 hour. So as Manalang said, they opened at 7 in the morning and they closed at 8. That's an impossibility. So that they were just probably voting by themselves.
Yeah.
You see, the fact that the ballots, ordinarily, if it were manual, at least you'd have to write something out. Here, they could just have a nice facsimile and just just shade the dots.
What should we do now, Senator? You've had the mandate, you've sat in the Senate, you still carry the mandate to date. What should we do next?
Well, Chis Escudero is the committee on the chairman of the oversight committee, but we know what his colors are.
Oh, so he's already there.
When we asked him, early on when we prevented bloodshed and brought the Antipolo Picos to the Senate, I was there when Senator Enrile asked him to investigate, and he said no, he didn't want to investigate it because it would change the results for the national. He didn't want the national to be affected. So many people, for self-interest, they were only
Teddy Boy say
interested
that too.
in the local. So why are they so afraid to investigate if the national figures were the mandate of the people. I mean, you know, if